How's it going, YouTube? Atheist Chef here. Now, this video here is going to be a series of questions to Christians, most likely really fundamentalists. This is about the devil, after all, and pretty much only fundamentalists really believe he exists. Now, these questions here, some of them maybe haven't been asked before, some of them have, but I haven't gotten any sufficient answers from these, so I'm really hoping to get all of your guys' opinions on this. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Did the devil sin inside of heaven? I mean, he did rebel against God. He tried to set up an army and try and take God down, and he was jealous of God for getting worship, and he wanted it for himself. I think somewhere in there he sinned. I'm just going to throw that out there. If he did, then sin came into the universe because of the devil, not because of Adam. Why was any of God's perfect creation inside of heaven allowed to sin, or even being functionally capable of sinning? If the devil was capable of sinning while in heaven, does it mean we're going to have the free will in heaven, and that same free will allow us to sin? It's generally said that there will be free will, but the desire to sin will be removed. But if that's the case, then how is it the devil and the angels that rebelled, how are they capable of sinning? Why did God banish the devil down to earth? This is a guy that just tried to overthrow him with an army of angels. Why would you let him down onto your brand new creation that you just planted man down, knowing that he could interfere and probably mess things up for him? Why would you just allow him to go down to earth? Send him to hell. Give him a really bad punishment. Don't just let him go free. If the devil is such an important character in all this, why is he really not mentioned in the Bible all that much? Sure, many Christians will say, oh, but Isaiah and Ezekiel really talk about him. Yeah, first off, we know, and I've covered this in The Devil is Not in the Details, Part 1 and 2, that it wasn't about him. This was about the prophecy against the kingdom of Tyre, and I think there's the King Nebuchadnezzar, I believe. Somebody else, definitely not about the devil, but let's just, for the sake of argument, say it's a double prophecy, and it's about the devil as well. And let's just let that, and then Revelations, where it talks about him in a little bit in the New Testament, very small passing blurbs. Why is he so minimal in there? Why is there not really any story about him? I mean, the whole beginning of it, the whole origin about him getting banished from heaven, it was just barely passed on. You think that could be very important. And according to you fundamentalist Christians, the very first thing about the devil is he's disguised as a snake. If we're expected to believe that the devil was disguised as a snake, why did God get deceived? How did God get deceived? God is an omniscient being. Did the devil really manage to trick God? I mean, when we look at it, he was punished as a snake as well. He was told that he would be forced to crawl on his belly and eat dust, which, by the way, obviously this comes from a lack of scientific understanding of snakes, as they thought that snakes ate dirt because of the way that they used their tongue to kind of feel around what's going on. So that's an automatic, point in the direction of that they didn't understand snakes that well, and if the Bible is infallible, then how could they make such a mistake? But second, why would God punish the devil as if he were a snake? In Job, we learned that God had summoned the devil and all of the other sons of man, also known as angels, up there to go basically kind of do a field report and let's see what's going on. So if that's the case, why is it that they say that God cannot be in the presence of sin? The devil is the father of sin, but yet God had him up there in heaven and having a friendly chat and seeing what was going on, and then even have enough time to set up a bet to deal with Job. So how can God not be in the presence of sin? Why did God not strip the devil of all of his powers when he was banished from heaven? Could the devil really be that stupid as to try to amass an army twice in heaven the first time, I guess, when you may not have read the Bible yet and not know that God is omniscient and omnipotent and, omnipresent? Maybe you could try and set up an army and try and take down God, but when that fails, that's totally understandable. But then to do it again, you would think he would have to be stupid, but no, because as many fundies try to say, is that the devil is perpetuating the greatest scheme that the devil doesn't exist and that God doesn't exist, and he's able to, with him and his army, able to mess with the heads of millions upon billions of people, including Christians, and try and hinder their daily walk with God by the day, by the minute, by the hour. They're capable of orchestrating such a, on such a massive scale. So obviously, the devil has to be pretty slick in understanding the scripture. He has to know that he's eventually supposed to lose. I mean, many fundamentalists say that the devil is even tricking other supposed Christians into believing a false Christianity by tricking their thoughts and how they interpret the Bible. So the devil knows the Bible. And surely he knows in Revelations chapter 20, where it says that after 1,000 years, the devil was going to amass an army again, and they were going to basically have the same numbers as the sands on the beach. But he also knows that at that time, God is going to engulf them all and then drop Lucifer, Satan, into the pits, the sulfur pits, or whatever, I think they said sulfur. And he was going to he was going to die. Surely he's aware of that. And surely he knows that God is omnipotent and, and omniscient. He would not be that stupid to do it again. Why? You would have to be stupid to think he was that stupid. Just how is the devil capable of communicating with millions upon billions of people? How big is his army? How many angels did God create? And how many angels did, if he lost a third of them in Revelations, where the devil, apparently took down a third of the angels down with him to hell? How many is that? How do you basically constantly talk to so many people? It's like you would need like a demon per person every day. How does he keep track of that? And how exactly does he do this? I mean, if we know that, all the processes in the brain are a mixture of chemicals and electrical impulses, all that stuff's going on, are all the demons, or all the chemists, do they understand how to manipulate things? Are they whispering in some manner to the spirit? How is that even possible? What does that mean? How can they physically do that? And how do they make thoughts appear into our head that are the things that they're trying to get us to do? What does that actually mean? And secondly, how do they have these powers to begin with? And why did God let them keep these powers? Again, referencing earlier, why did God just banish them and then not let them have those powers? Why allow them to continue to have it? Evil thoughts come from the devil and his minions. Does that mean that the only way we could have good thoughts if they come from heavenly angels or God? Or is it implying that maybe we're capable of good thoughts on our own? That's it, folks. That's all of the questions I have. So please, any fundamentalist, Christian, G-Man, Veckel, True Talk TV, Rand Campbell, Pillbox, anybody watching this that wants to answer, please leave a video response or leave them down in the comment section below. If you make a video, please let me know that you've made them. I would love to know your responses are what they are. So that is it. This is the Atheist Chef signing off. Peace. How's it going, YouTube? Atheist Chef here. Now, this video here is going to be a series of questions to Christians, most likely really fundamentalists. This is about the devil, after all, and pretty much only fundamentalists really believe he exists. Now, the devil sinned inside of heaven. I mean, he did rebel against God. He tried to set up an army and try and take God down. And he was jealous of God for getting worship. And he wanted it for himself. I think somewhere in there he sinned. I'm just going to throw that out there. If the devil was capable of sinning while in heaven, does it mean we're going to have the free will in heaven? And that same free will allow us to sin? It's generally said that there will be free will, but the desire to sin will be removed. But if that's the case, if he did, then sin came into the universe because of the devil, not because of Adam. Why was any of God's perfect creation inside of heaven allowed to sin, or even being functionally capable of sinning? These questions here, some of them maybe haven't been asked before. Some of them have, but I haven't gotten any sufficient answers from these, so I'm really hoping to get all of your guys' opinions on this. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Did